Hello there, and welcome back to Build with the Boys. It's a bit of unusual on this one. I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk to you about something. It is International Men's Day on November the 19th this year. It's Saturday, November the 19th. And it is a time to celebrate being a man. By any means necessary, be that having a steak or chopping down a tree or making a bonfire, something manly. But it's kind of that I wanted to talk to you about what it is to be a man and how you can help your fellow man. Unfortunately and rather sadly, we have a generation of young men taking their lives at a disturbing frequency. And it's still somewhat taboo to talk about your feelings as a man. And I get it. I understand completely. So it's that what I wanted to address with you, because I talk to a lot of you through here, and I know different people go through different things, and different people do this hobby for different reasons. I personally do this hobby to unwind. I do this to relax. I do this to de-stress, which is wildly important, massively important. And this is therapy for me. This is Zen. So all the stresses that I have of the day, be that work, be that personal life, whatever it is, when I'm sat here and I'm building a model, it all just floats away. And it helps me, and it helps me a lot. Now, it doesn't work for everybody, but if you can find that thing that helps you sort of unwind and de-stress, you should. There is a weird shift in culture at the moment that men are very much the villain of the piece, and I don't agree with it. I understand the sins of the past by some men. A minority of men have tainted the worldview of us as a people, but I refuse to endorse that. I refuse to let my children think that, my boys think that they're something bad because they're men, because they're not. You can be a great man. You can be a good man, and men are as likely to suffer with things that women do as well. I mean, men can be abused, men can be used, men can be cheated on, men can be victims of domestic abuse, men can be victims of sexual abuse, men can be victims of discrimination, men can be discriminated against in the workplace, men can be sexually harassed, men can be attacked. You know, it's not exclusive just to women. This is something that affects men as well. But the difference with men is typically we don't talk about it, we don't address it. That's not good. That's never a good thing, because that will build up, and it will affect your mental health badly. For full clarity, and I don't mind telling you this, I don't share a lot of myself on here, but I think this is important. I think if me saying this helps somebody else, then so be it. About 10 years ago, 2013, 9 years ago, I didn't want to be here anymore. I took way too many losses in a very short period of time. I'd gone through 2 redundancies in the space of 14 months. There was a lot of stress at home, at work. There was the pressures of being able to provide, and I didn't want to be here anymore. And I started contemplating taking my own life. And that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. But your mind can be your worst enemy. And convinced me that everybody in my life would be a lot better if I wasn't here. And I started to believe it. And it's a horrible turn of events, but I'm there contemplating taking my own life, and my son Oscar would have been 2 at the time, 3. Could see there was something wrong with me and asked me, what's the matter, Dad? And the only thing I could tell him was, I'm just sad. And he said, "Ah," and he cuddled me. And it was at that point I thought, I've got to sort this. I can't leave him. I couldn't do that to him. And I got help. And again, there's something we don't talk about. It's okay to not be okay. It is. And as men, we find it tough to address that. But it's okay to not be okay. And if you need help, ask for help. If you're suffering, if you're struggling, if you feel like you can't talk to somebody, you can. And I know it's hard. It can be difficult to reach out and say to somebody, I ain't doing great. But don't ever suffer in silence, because I promise you, whoever it is you choose to speak to would much rather listen to your problems than one day listen to your eulogy. You know, that's just the reality of it. And I got help. I got therapy. I spoke to somebody, and I unloaded all of my stuff, and it helps. It really helps. There's a strange thing as men that as we get older, we tend to not lose friends as such, but maybe lose contact with our friends, because, you know, when you're in your teens, your 20s, you can always dip down the pub or go to a club or something like that. And then as we get older and we get more responsibilities and everybody gets tied up and moves away and whatnot, you tend to find that massive circle of friends you have reduces. So it's not easy to sort of gain new friends over a certain age. But what I'd suggest is, if you've got somebody that you've kind of drifted away from, you've lost contact with, send them a text message and just say, hey brother, how's it going? How are you? And reconnect. It really is that simple. It really is that simple. I know people that have been nervous or apprehensive about doing that because, oh no, I'm not spoken to him in 5 years. So what? He'd probably love to hear from you. Do you know what I mean? You would. I'm sure if there's somebody you haven't heard from in a while, if you got a random text message from them just saying, hey, how's things? I'm sure it'd make your day. So do it. Reach out to somebody you haven't connected with in a while and just see how they're doing. Check in with them. And if you're seeing this and you're thinking, you know what, I've never really felt like that. I've never really felt down or beaten or anything like that, then good. Use that to help someone else and ask someone else how they're doing. You know, if you've got a buddy who doesn't seem like himself, or a co-worker or something like that, seems a little quiet, a little distant, ask them how they're doing. You ain't got to talk about it. You ain't got to talk about it. There's this wonderful thing where we can talk about it without talking about it, you know. But just being present, being around for somebody, listening to them, giving them a much needed distraction from the grinds of life is sometimes a beautiful thing to do. So do that. And don't have this weird thing where it's kind of like, oh, I don't make friends with somebody. It really is as simple as asking, do you want to grab a drink after work? Or do you want to, you know, hey, what are you doing in the week? Or the new Bond movie showing, I want to go see it, I don't want to go on my own. Do you fancy coming? Do that. Do you know what I mean? It really is that simple. And reach out to people. And again, on here, if you genuinely don't know who to reach out to a stranger. I'll always listen to you. I'll always listen to you. So you can contact me, buildingtheboys@outlook.com, and I'll talk to you. Always. So know that you've got people you can talk to, and that's what you should do. It's not easy. I understand that. It's not easy. And ladies, if you're watching this, if your man ever says to you, I ain't doing great, listen to him, because it probably took a lot for him to get to that point to say that to you, and he probably will downplay it. You know, I'm just having a rough week. He probably isn't. He's probably having a rough month. He's probably having a rough year. And don't do that thing that, sisters, we love you, but there's something that you do that you got to stop doing. If your man tells you he ain't doing great, or he's having a bad time, or he's had a terrible day, do not reply with, how do you think I feel? Or, yeah, so am I. Because that just dismisses what he said. You know, it's probably took a lot for him to say that to you. So don't dismiss it with basically saying, yeah, well, so have I, so get on with it. You know, it's part of the reason, as I said, a generation of young men are taking their lives. If someone reaches out to you, listen to them. No matter what you're going through, listen to them, and then tell them how you're doing as well. You know, there are ways of saying it. If you're having a bad day as well, you can talk to them and go, you know what, I've had a bad day as well, so maybe we can share together. Don't just dismiss it. Listen to what he's got to say. Because it's the same, it's no different to if you're really hungry and you say to somebody, I'm really hungry, they say to you, well, yeah, well, so am I. It doesn't stop them from being hungry. They're still hungry. They just feel bad now for mentioning it to you. So listen to them. If your man seems distant, make sure he's okay, check in with him. And that's all I've really got to say. But seriously, talk. Okay, it's okay to not be okay. There's this weird thing of men where we've got to be tough and we've got to be strong, and it's like, not really. If you're taking a hit mentally, it's okay to get help. It's okay to get that fixed by any means necessary, because we wouldn't do it with anything else. If you broke your leg, you wouldn't keep on walking on it, because it's not going to get better, is it? It's just going to get worse, and it's just going to keep hurting more and more and more. And it's no different to if you're taking a hit mentally. Same thing. Get help. Get it fixed. And asking for help it sucks. I don't like asking for help. I hate it. But you will feel so much better when you do. So please do. Please do. Reach out to whoever you need to reach out to. And you'd be surprised. You're not going to get dismissed. You're not going to have someone say, I'm not interested. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised, because chances are it's a man that's gone through it himself, or knows someone's gone through it, and would be happy to talk to you. So do that. On Men's Day this year, reach out to a buddy. Somebody you haven't spoken to in a while. Somebody you speak to all the time, and just say, how are you? How are you? Really, how are you? And check in with your brothers, man, and make sure they're good. And yeah, maybe we can start making a difference. But that's it. That's all I want to say. Sorry to get deep and heavy with you, but this is why I do this. This is why I started building models, because it was a good time to relax and unwind and get all that stress off my mind. And if you just live vicariously through me, maybe build a model yourself. See if you like it. See if it helps you chill out. And you'd be surprised. You really will. But that's it. That's all I've got. All I've got time to say about that. But again, please, it's okay to not be okay. Remember that, and enjoy Men's Day this year. Do it any way you need to do it, but make it all about you, man. And I'll catch you on the next one. In a world where you can be anything at all, just be nice.